everyone, we're going to state the range of the following functions. So we'll get started. First we have a relation. So the range is your y values. And you only write them down once. So you have 3, 8, and 9. So that's 3, 8, and 9. All right. And then for these next three, sometimes it's best to graph these to know what we're talking about. So we're given our domain. If you graph this, we know that this is your 1. And for all real numbers, we can have our x be any number we want. So for our range, which is your y values, we know our y values start here and go up. It never goes below for the negative. There's never anything in here. So that means for that one, it's going to be y is greater than 0. It gets really close to 0 here. And then for the second one, we have that it has to be positive reals. So basically we don't have this. And we don't even really have 0. We're actually starting at 1 or anything. Basically we can start really close to 0. So if we start really close to 0, our range is going to start really close to 1. This line is y equals 1. So we're going to write y is greater than, or it's just greater than 1. So it gets close to that. If you graphed it, it would be like an open interval there. All right, and you're starting at 1. All right. Now for this one, I would factor it. So if you factor this and set this to 0, you're going to get x minus 6, x minus 4. So we know our zeros are at 6 and 4. We also know this opens up because it's positive. So if we're at 4 and 6, and this is our intercepts, then the middle of that would be 5. And you can do a sign diagram. You could also use a calculator. But if you plug 5 back into the equation, you're going to get negative 1. So since it opens up, and this is your minimum, you're going to get y is greater than or equal to negative 1. So this would be negative 1 when you plug in 5. You know the quadratic is symmetric. So, and the last one, we can go ahead and for this one, we know that our domain is everything but negative 1. So when we write this equation out, let's change this to y. And switch the x and the y. Now that's your inverse. So we have our inverse already. But we want to make y the subject so we can figure out our range. So whatever we get for the domain of our inverse will be the range of this. So at cross multiply, you get xy plus x equals 3y plus 1. Now, let's group our y's together. xy minus 3y equals 1 minus x. Pull out the y. You see, or factor it out. And then divide by x minus 3. So basically, the domain of this, so this is your inverse. Your domain is going to be all real numbers minus 3. So let's write minus the set 3 That's your domain of the inverse, which happens to be the range of this. So when it's asking for the range, this is your answer. And that's it. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.